In the following video, Amy was minding her own business sorting out some paperwork when a major disturbance stood in her way. This disturbance was so unexpected that she referred to it as a trauma event, but I will let you form your own opinion on such a bold statement. Take a look.
Okay guys, I'm in here again. Just put some clothes in the dryer. I have all the lights on because I get freaked out when I'm down here alone, but I heard something coming from, I think it was the bathroom. It sounded like something slid or maybe like a knocking sound or something like that. It sounded creepy. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. There's nobody in here, guys. It's just me. Literally just me. Okay, upstairs I go. Bye-bye.
Strangely, Amy heard a banging sound coming from the bathroom and decided that she must act upon it. She went to investigate the bathroom, and for a good 10 seconds, nothing happened. However, this grace period, if you will, did not last. Moments after entering the room, a drawer slid open without any contact, and this frightened Amy to the extreme as she had never experienced anything paranormal. It is safe to say that this incident left an imprint on the victim, and they would never forget what happened. Roland with me is a common name brought up on this channel, and this is simply because of the sheer amount of paranormal experiences he has documented over the years. He is one of those YouTubers who visit haunted locations for videos, but in more recent times, the haunted locations visited him. Let me explain. Due to him being around spirits for so much of his time, some of them have attached to him and gone as far as coming to his home. This has led to his house being riddled with paranormal activity, and he continues to supply evidence to prove that. Here's an example.
That knife just came out of there. All right, that sink, the faucet was spinning 360, but I'm more worried about that knife right there. Right there. This was all the way in, and it came back out. And I had just put this outside for a couple days out in the backwoods. Is there a spirit here that just moved that knife? Can you please move it back? I hear something. Move the knife back. Shit. Okay.
After the proposal from Roland, the spirit complied and decided to put the knife that it moved back into its storage. Roland was quite pleased that the spirit listened to him because it meant that he still had some authority over his own house, but things would not end for him, and you will continue seeing him on this channel, so subscribe. On October 15th of 2019, Marcus was alone in his store when he made a shocking discovery. Marcus purchased the building roughly 4 years ago, and a good point to make is that nothing strange ever happened there. The store operated perfectly, with the employee welfare standards being described as through the roof. But all good things must come to an end, and this was certainly the case for what was meant to be a peaceful store. The footage you are about to see was caught at 2 p.m., so it was not a timing that you would expect to see videos of this manner coming from. Regardless of what time it was though, it was just as spooky as the usual ghost sightings, and here is why.
Cuenta que Hijo de la chingada. ¿Ya vieron? Ay, a ver si quedó grabado eso. ¿Vieron cómo se aventó la puerta? Esas son las cosas que pasan aquí a veces. Ahí está la Moana. Ahí está la Moana y es lo que les digo, se avientan las cosas. Ah, pero no está tirada ni nada. Hijo de su madre, trae la piel chinita, No, pues no. Está cabrón. Esperaba que me hubieran hecho una broma. No, anda, pues vámonos mejor.
For some reason, the spirit was repetitively opening the door and swinging it closed at maximum power. This obviously made a lot of noise and summoned Marcus from another room to come and check that everything was okay. It definitely was not. Without cutting the camera, he approached the door that was being controlled in order to catch a glance of what was behind it. To his dismay, there was nothing at all. The upcoming clip was captured by Daryl, a middle-aged office worker who despised his job. He had grown up always dreaming of becoming a successful business owner, but despite working hard for this, a change in the market left his idea to rot. This forced poor Daryl into regular employment, where he was paid a below-average wage to take calls all day, and as I previously stated, this was not fun for him. One fateful day, though, at 11 a.m., Daryl had the surprise of his life, and no matter how hard he tried to decipher what had caused it, he could not. Feel free to help him in the comments after watching this.
Some crazy paranormal shit going on. It's just me. There's no one else around. There's no freaking strings.
Absurdly, the computer powered itself up, but this could have easily been pinned as being an issue with the general computer. However, as if the spirit knew that this was not enough to prove its presence to Daryl, it started to tamper with the cabinets, which was 100% the tipping point that made Daryl fear for his life. It is safe to say he knew that it was there and was not a fan of that idea. In the last video on this channel, we looked into the life of Jake and Faye, a father and daughter who had a very strong bond, but were facing the hardships of a haunting. In case you missed that content, Jake deployed cameras all around the house, including in Faye's room, so that he could pin down what was causing a strange feeling he had. He had this sense that something was wrong but didn't quite know what. That was until the cameras caught some movement in Faye's room. This follow-up clip took place 2 days after that one, and this time, the spirit made sure that they could meet it firsthand.
Do you hear the footsteps? I know y'all hear that, right? Do you hear it? You hear the footsteps?
Where's the steps? Is the steps over there?
It sounds like it's coming from over there.
It's over there. Because of the table. Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh, move.
I know you saw that, right?
Is this seem to come with? Seem to come with?
Jeez, I know y'all saw that.
Seem to come with? How's it come with work?
Can you move it again?
Move again?
It's all out of focus now. Well, the footsteps are still going. Right when I walked by, it knocked the cup off too. Can you make it move again?
Again. There's a camera. Steps. Let us see the steps.
Oh, I'll keep y'all posted.
The steps is gone.
As odd as this may have been, they both heard footsteps roaming the room, and eventually the cup fell from the tabletop. This literally made zero sense and left them both terrified, especially Faye, who was way too young for something like this. A common occurrence that we seem to always come across on this channel are ghost hunters paying the price for partaking in such a dangerous job. These hunters spend hours of their day interacting with the paranormal entities of the world, and this would be enough to drive most people insane, sometimes even going too far for the hunters themselves to handle. The video you are about to see is an example of a ghost hunter who met a spirit that went a little bit too crazy for him to cope. However, due to the extremely high pay rates that this job offered, the poor man continued onwards, and this was what happened.
السلام عليكم مرقور دا بكيتشن كناس ومكانا عبارة الله غستي دي خطا سوغوري يا الله خير يا الله خير استغفر الله الله أكبر يا الله خير يا الله خير يا الله خير وګورې خمر ګرو يا الله خير يا الله خير تاسو ته مو ویژن ګورې کوټې پیریان دي خدا واړه دي دا وسې د وګوره خپل تیر آبار کړی ها يا الله خير يا الله خير يا الله خير استغفر الله الله أكبر وګورې ها يا الله خير يا الله خير قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس يا الله خير سوقي لك سوقي يا الله خير يا الله خير يا الله خير غوريها يا الله خير سوقي لك يا الله خير يا الله خير استغفر الله الله أكبر يا الله خير سوقي لك يا الله خير يا الله خير يا الله خير.
Strangely, all sorts of objects took up lives of their own and started dancing around the room as if they had attended a disco. It was a rare occurrence for spirits to be powerful enough to move so many objects at once, so the ghost hunter instantly knew that he had a bad entity on his hands. Not that this stopped him on his mission, he needed to pay the bills somehow. For the next 10 or so minutes, the ghost hunter, who was named Ali for your information, did not come across anything out of the ordinary, and was moments away from calling this task a day. Just as he turned around though, and started finding his way out of the building, he heard some banging from behind and had to investigate further.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله الله أكبر.
Everything about this closet was moving by itself, including the objects on top, which again showcased just how strong the spirit in question happened to be. Unlike the last clip, where Ali ignored the fear though, he could not help himself and ran back onto the corridor where he felt the tiniest bit more secure, but not as much as he would have wished. This led him to call it quits and run out of the building entirely. However, the ghost wanted to spook him one more time before he went on his travels.
السلام عليكم مرګرو دا هغه کور دی تاسو ته چې ما وی په دې کې پیریان دي پوه شولې تاسو بنن په خپل سترګو بیا وینئ یو ځل ښه دې کې هر ټایم پیریان دي پوه شولې دا وګورئ ښه لا اله الا الله محمد رسول الله الله اکبر لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله الله أكبر بسم الله الله أكبر بسم الله الله أكبر بسم الله الله أكبر بسم الله يا الله خير يا الله خير مرګور تاسو وینئ يا الله خير يا الله خير يا الله خير الله أكبر يا الله خير الله أكبر بسم الله الله أكبر يا الله خير يا الله يا الله خير.
Just as Ali exited the building, some more paranormal stuff started to happen, and it was starting to get a little bit out of hand. When he arrived home, he documented all of these sightings into a folder for the client who paid him to search the property and received his cash, although he openly stated it was not worth it whatsoever. Jackson was downstairs all by himself, and bear in mind that this is a very important detail for the next clip. Jackson and his family were an innocent bunch, and never really found themselves getting involved in anything troublesome. The house was just about as spiritually clean as you could get, with several holy books and crosses dotted around, as Jackson and his fiancée were both huge believers in a god. I bet if they knew what was about to come for them, they would have prayed for his help though, because the following video was bad, very bad.
Alright, so that right there is my basement door, right? I'm downstairs by myself. It's like 4:53 in the morning, and I just started hearing that. I have no fucking idea what it is, but I'm down here by myself. Everybody's sleeping, just me. Ain't the first time I heard this shit either.
Jackson was home alone when a knocking sound started playing at the basement door, and he did not like this at all. Even while he was documenting it, the banging would not stop, and it seemed that whatever was in there was desperate to be released once and for all. Fortunately, this sound did eventually stop, and Jackson was given the privilege to be happy again, as his entire family had just arrived home. Little did he know that they were his good omen in this situation, because the next time they decided to leave the house, things did not end well for him.
Alright, so I was hearing that knocking again, right? Except this time it's coming from that wall right there, which is my downstairs bathroom. And after a while I started hearing tapping on the bathroom door as well. So, what else? Record. See if anything else happens. I mean, I hear the shit every night. It's... what the fuck? Okay, that's never happened before. Now I have to go check it out, otherwise you guys are gonna be like, oh, it's probably somebody in there. Let's go see. I'll show you guys right now. Ain't nobody in this right here. And it is empty. Yeah, no, that one was weird. That's never actually happened before. That's new, at least.
This time round, the noises came from the bathroom, which made no sense considering nobody had opened the basement to let its contents be free. Whatever this was had free reign, and Jackson needed to do something to stop it. His story will definitely continue in the next video on this channel, so stay tuned. The following video came from the CCTV footage captured in a hotel and was noticed by Paul, a security officer at the facility. This hotel was unlike most others and was specifically designed to cater for elderly, near-death residents who needed a place to stay for a cheap cost closer to their relatives. Outside of the hotel is a graveyard where family members of loved ones who passed away in the hotel could optionally bury them. It was this place that caused the haunting you are about to witness.
Oh, and it says they hang out and dwell around graveyards. And you know the story on that, right? When Mike hired those two native spiritual people to come here and do their stuff, they said it's not the hotel that's haunted, it's the graveyard. Oh. So this service road here where Danny and I used to park, that's the old Stony Plain Road. Do you really think they, when they dug up all the bodies here, that was a good one, moved them over to the graveyard?
They dug up the bodies and what?
Before this hotel...
It doesn't take a zoom in to see the spirit gliding across the corridors by the chairs, acting as a perfect example for what Paul was talking about. Over the past few months, the hotel had been bringing in native men who claimed to be able to cleanse places of spirits, and the staff weren't told why this was. It was at this moment that they managed to piece 2 and 2 together. However, this could have still been a one-off situation where the security camera bugged out or something of the sort. Paul was going to need more evidence if he was to convince the outside world. It was only a matter of time before he obtained this.
See?
Yeah. I saw it.
You sure they have it there, buddy? Yeah. Okay. Hey, Noel. Yes, sir. What's up?
Oh yeah, I see it again.
Let's try and sit in the chair. Sometimes he'll stay there for a minute.
He is. How do you know this?
Well, because Danny and I caught him earlier when Danny was in the games room locking up. I freaked the fuck out because I saw it. And then I tried to do a video review to record it, and it wouldn't let me.
Why is it still there?
Well, because if you read about it, they get caught in a vortex. And they linger around for...
Strangely, the ghost sat back down on the chair before the smoke vanished once again. Very weird. Paul visited his boss after capturing the incident and let him know about it. But unsurprisingly, he wasn't surprised. He revealed that the native men were in fact there to rid a ghost from his property, and he had seen it several times at night. On a Sunday evening sometime last year, a man called Jorge was home all by himself when he decided to record a video to his small fan base. He had wanted to be a full-time influencer for years now, but never made any real progress. He would wake up, go to his job at the local store, come home and make videos, but he just couldn't do it anymore. For roughly 2 weeks, he started planning a short script to read out to his fans, to let them know that it was officially the end of his content creation journey, but clearly someone or something wanted him to stay.
So, I am a little exhausted, but I have been doing things back and forth. I have not been having any rest. I've been up and down. So I've been taking care of things around the house, and yeah, I've been. Guys, this is not something that I'm fucking making up. You fucking see this shit? There's literally nobody in here, guys. Literally nobody. You gotta be fucking with me, huh? This is fucking ridiculous. This is fucking insane. Oh, fuck.
Somehow, items in the kitchen started moving by themselves, and Jorge was taken very aback by this. He quickly walked out of the room and sat in the living room, contemplating what happened, until eventually he concluded his thoughts. It was a sign for him to continue pursuing content creation. Ever since Jorge convinced himself that this is what that was, he hasn't missed an upload since. In a previous video on the channel, we've looked at footage captured by Roland With Me, a YouTuber known for going out of his way to catch spirits in their acts. In this 2-hour-long video, he and his friend Omar decided it would be fun to visit some of the scariest places in America, and every single one of them was haunted. During their journey, they caught several crazy pieces of content and compiled all of the clips into a montage. We're going to take a look at 3 of the most prominent. This first one took place in the living room of the haunted house at around 11 p.m. It's important to note that the clock had been there for over 10 years and was broken, which is the reason for the time being incorrect.
If there is a spirit here that is shaking this clock, let me know. And why are you messing with my clock? Let me know that you are here. Show me some kind of sign. Do something. Did you just make the clock move? Alright, Alright, what was that? Alright, that clock just literally moved. Did you just make the clock move? Show me a sign. Do something. Holy f***. Alright, that time, holy sh**.
Not only did the clock vibrate while suspended on the wall, its hands also spun around very quickly, which made no sense considering the batteries were out. This was nothing compared to some of the other phenomena Roland was going to experience though, and it only got worse from there. After exploring the living room, Roland decided to go to the entrance of the building and investigate if that area of the house was at all active. His friend Omar claimed that it was the easiest part of the building to walk through and that they wouldn't find anything there. However, this statement was proven wrong very fast.
What in the hell? I know that was not just open. That was shut. Something in here. Came from in here somewhere.
Strangely, Roland started to hear several noises coming from the kitchen, despite his friend being the only person on this mission with him, being right by his side. With such a high rate of activity in that house, the duo left it very quickly because they managed to obtain enough content for their video at a rapid rate. The next place they visited is the last that anyone would have expected though, Roland's house. If you've watched some other videos of mine in the past, you'd know that Roland's house is extremely haunted, and it does make sense. From the sheer amount of haunted locations he has visited, it's bound for a few of the spirits he encountered to follow him home. The specific clip you're about to see was caught on a camera and took place 4 minutes after Roland and Omar arrived. This spirit must have loved the lavish lifestyle because it was turning the sports car on and off fast. Due to the horror movie scene, grandfather-style clocks are often connected with ghosts and evil, no matter the size. The clock in the clip you're about to see was in this style, and although it may have looked tiny, the fear it could instill into someone was massive. This is about to be proved. The video was recorded in Germany by Jürgen. He had a regular life, working a 9 to 5 and enjoying his evenings with his mates. However, what was about to happen in front of his very own eyes took the regular out of that sentence.
Ich schwöre euch bei Gott, diese Tür von dieser Uhr, ne, die ist eben einfach aufgegangen. Ich wollte mich gerade schlafen legen, auf einmal ist die aufgegangen. Die ganzen Tage ist die nicht aufgegangen und jetzt gerade hat die sich einfach geöffnet, Digga. Bro, ich kack mir in die Hose fast. Wenn hier irgendwas in diesem Raum ist, dann macht diese Tür auf. Wenn hier irgendein Geist oder so drin ist und du mich hören kannst, dann mach diese Tür auf. Ich schwöre bei Gott, ich schwöre auf meine Mutter, hier ist keine Schnur oder so, nicht, dass ihr denkt, ich verarsche euch, Bruder. Guck mal. Guck mal. Hier ist Ich hab Gänsehaut. Gänsehaut, Bruder. Gänsehaut am ganzen Körper. Gänsehaut. Gänsehaut am ganzen Körper. Ich schwöre, meine Mutter, guck. Guck. Oh mein Gott. Oh mein Gott. Oh mein Gott.
Now, it doesn't take a German speaker to understand what was going on in this video. Despite being sealed, the clock door opened on its own accord, and Jürgen was very fortunate to have filmed the event take place. If he hadn't, then no one would have believed his story, and the clock would still be on the wall to this day. In reality, his girlfriend allowed him to trash it. You may be wondering why this fully grown woman is lying on her bed looking terrified whilst recording her verdict. Don't worry, you'll get your answer. She is called Celeste and recently moved out from her parents into her own rented home. It was a small place, perfect for Celeste, especially since it was local and in case of an emergency, her father or mother could come and help out. When they offered this help, they assumed nothing would happen and they just said it to be nice. Little did they know that just 2 weeks after Celeste moved into the house, an emergency would come, especially one that they couldn't handle. The house had no paranormal background and had great reviews from everyone who called it home. The landlord was extremely proud of it and kept it well. He wasn't a priest though. Of course, a spirit sneaked its way in.
Plebes, no me lo van a creer, pero otra vez son... La neta me estoy muriendo de miedo. Sí, me ven la cara así, pero neta me estoy muriendo de miedo. Es la 1:33, otra vez. De la madrugada. Y se escuchan otra vez cosas. Pero no lo grabé, pues no. O sea, tampoco voy a estar grabando de que no mames. Pero no lo grabé. Pero otra vez se escuchan cosas. Pero la neta, no mames, no sé qué voy a hacer. Ahorita. No. No mames, no sé qué hacer ya, no sé qué hacer. O sea, literal se escuchó donde abrieron una puerta. Le tengo que poner seguro a la puerta de esto. Se lo juro que estoy temblando. No me lo van a creer. Estoy temblando. En las piernas estoy... No mames. ¿Qué pido? Yo creo que... Ay, no. Pero ya me da miedo ir a grabar, la verdad. Pero estoy acostada aquí. Literal no hay nadie. No sé qué voy a hacer. Me da miedo ir a ver.
For some peculiar reason, Celeste could hear a series of sounds coming from inside, and this obviously freaked her out. She immediately assumed that a burglar had found their way inside the four walls, but fortunately, this wasn't the case. The real scenario was arguably on the same level of severity though. How did she find out what the real scenario was, you may be wondering? Well, she decided that the best option from here was to search the house with no weapon.
Me da miedo. Puta madre. Ni modo. No mames. Eso no estaba tirado ahorita. El cereal se supone que estaba allá arriba. No mames, la neta, no mames. No, vete a la verga. Plebes, en serio.
Despite the box of food being placed on the fridge once she arrived home, Celeste walked into the room to find it on the floor. This wasn't the bad thing though. There was absolutely no trace of a break-in, meaning that whatever did this was still there. Definitely a ghost. Instantly after finding out that her first house was haunted, Celeste called her parents to pick her up and sent a letter to the landlord explaining she was leaving. She had to pay a decent fee for exiting the house with such a short notice. But in her eyes, it was more than worth the cost. On July 21st of 2024 in Spain, Juan was chilling out in his bedroom when he was taken by surprise by a series of events he would never forget. He explained after this incident that he would never go to sleep without a nightlight ever again, and the darkness now scares him. He gets called childish.
Mi gente, miren, me encuentro en mi casa, miren que no hay absolutamente nada, y me encuentro como medio raro, no sé qué es lo que está pasando, pero en verdad, no sé qué es lo que está pasando, mi gente, en mi casa hoy. Miren, señores, miren, me siento como que no sé, como que hay algo raro en mi habitación hoy. Por favor, necesito que me ayuden. Hoy siento esto. Miren, estoy solo en mi casa. Miren, estoy solo en mi casa, papá Dios. Y siento como que se mueve toda la cosa. Oh, Dios mío, se apagó la luz. Necesito a alguien que me ayude. Oh, Dios mío. Señores, ¿quién está viendo esto? Por favor, compártanlo. Miren, estoy solo en mi habitación, pero siento como no sé, como que se caen las cosas. Oh, papá Dios. Señores, miren. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder, señores. Recuerden que me encuentro aquí en mi casa, mi gente, en el cementerio Cristo Redentor.
In fairness, I don't know anybody who wouldn't be in fear of the dark after experiencing such a horrible 5 minutes. Once the saga was over, Juan made sure to pick up every single item that moved and load them into a skip that he hired for a week. He then paid some people to take the skip to the local tip and have every last piece of it burned. In total, there was around 900's worth of clothes put into the skip, but Juan didn't care. That type of money was more than enough to get a ghost out of his life. Setting up cameras in the room of your child is a very popular thing to do nationwide, as parents are in the constant struggle to make sure their children are safe. Most of the time, the craziest thing they catch on these cameras is a baby trying to escape their crib, but sometimes things can get much worse. Meet the Hursts, a young family with one child to their name called Layla. The two parents cared for Layla extremely well and wouldn't wish anything negative to come her way, but clearly a certain spirit disagreed.
Oh my God!
What's the matter?
I just want to sleep with you now.
God, what? What's the matter?
Now at first, it was very difficult to see what the problem was here, and it was presumably just a nightmare. However, once the father of the family decided to spend hours scanning the footage to try and find out what upset his little girl, he found the face of a woman right next to the wardrobe. Extremely spooky. This figure could have very easily been crafted by shadows, though as we all know that when people are paranoid, their imagination can run wild. This time that wasn't the case though. For those of you with no idea what orbs are, they are small particles similar to dust that orbit a ghost. In short, if orbs are seen somewhere, then a spirit was in that room. From that night forward, Layla only slept with her parents, and this still stands to date. On December 30th of 2023, a terrifying night happened for a newfound couple. This couple had been dating for just 6 months when they decided they wanted a baby, and 9 months later led to the upcoming recording. One night they heard their baby making noises, as if it was uncomfortable, and the wife prompted the husband to check their baby cam. They were very fortunate to have done so, because if they didn't come to check up on the baby soon enough, things could have gotten much worse. Take a look. That is one of the most disturbing videos on this channel due to how young the victim actually was. The spirit didn't even have the decency to be gentle. It completely tugged the poor boy. Now, it's unusual that we tell a story in unchronological order on this channel, but in order to get true context for the baby video, we'd need to review a clip uploaded by the same family 8 days prior. Have a watch. Unsettling noises could be heard in the baby's room, and the parents just nudged it off as the construction workers next door caused a commotion. If only they acted sooner, maybe the first clip would never have happened. In the following video, a woman called Natasha was in her garden enjoying the fire pit, whilst her husband was out working when one of the worst sequences of events happened to her. It was around 11 p.m. when all of this kicked off, and the fact she was alone added a lot to the scare factor. In her first capture, she does apologize for the lack of sound, as she used a high-tech camera device that she didn't know how to use properly. The lack of sound is made up with strange visuals though, and I'm very surprised she was able to hold herself back from running away. If we look closely in the window in the top right, something white could be seen on the other side, and according to Natasha, it wasn't there beforehand. Now, this obviously freaked her out, but it was nothing compared to what was moments away from happening. The clip before could have easily been the reflection of the moon, or something along those lines, but unfortunately, this next one has no excuse.
The camera just shut off. I'm genuinely like sitting here by myself. There's no one here. What the fuck? And I don't know. I'm hearing a bunch of shit, and I feel like there's shit all around me. Nobody here, and that thing in the window is gone. The freaking blanket. Did you just see that? Fuck this shit. And I'm like literally chilling outside trying to have a nice fire and shit. And blankets. Look at that. Look at that. Dude, there's fucking nothing over here. There's fucking nothing over there, dude. That's fucking nuts.
As weird as this may have been, the blanket slowly glided off the couch in a very unnatural way. We all know that wind has the power to move things, but this was far beyond comprehension. It's safe to say that something or someone was around the fire with Natasha that night, but the spooky thing is that she'll never know who. On April 16th of 2021, a YouTuber known as Sylvia C decided to upload one of the creepiest videos ever to her channel. Not only were the things she recorded creepy, but her reaction was also very disturbing and genuine, making this a very hard watch for many. It happened at an unknown time, but was definitely late at night when Sylvia was watching television. However, this common evening leisure was interrupted very quickly.
Hi guys, still activity in the kitchen. Guys, I heard things happening in the kitchen again. That cutlery's moving. I saw that tin was moving. I saw that tin move. Oh my god, that one's just moved. Spirit in the kitchen. Why are you moving things again? Oh, I better get out. Please don't move any cutlery. Please don't throw a knife. Spirit, oh my god. Let's just shut that door. Washing machine. Oh, spirit in the kitchen. What? Oh no, guys, let's just move that chair. Oh god, I can't take it. Oh god, guys, I'm so scared.
Once she entered the kitchen, a ton of things started moving around on their own accord. These items included knives, tins, and the washing machine, and it's impossible for all three of those things to move alone. Instinctively, Sylvia walked out of the kitchen to try and escape the ghost, but it wouldn't be long before it lured her back in with more noises. Roughly 15 minutes after the first batch of movement, Sylvia started to hear more things moving around and decided to go and investigate it again. This was a decision that she would most definitely go on to regret. Take a look.
Put the camera on, close. Lights are moving in the kitchen. I'm scared to go through in case. Come upstairs in my room.
This time, plates from the drying rack started jumping onto the floor, and in fear, Sylvia ran to her room and started smoking a cigarette. Now, regardless of the torment she faced that night, she was in a difficult situation and had no choice but to remain in this house for at least another week. Fortunately, she had a few days of peace after these two events, but it wouldn't be long before the spirit made its return.
Hi guys, I've just put the camera on because the kettle's went on again. I've heard things in the kitchen again. And that plate's moving again. Oh my god, guys. Oh my god. Oh! Oh! Why are you doing this to me?
Unlike the other two events she witnessed, this time an item got launched directly at her, and she was very lucky to have not been hit by the plate. After this, Sylvia was just about done with these shenanigans and contacted her local priest to come and bless the house, or do something along those lines. Luckily, he listened since she had gathered enough evidence for him. It's unknown what happened after that, but all we can do is hope that Sylvia is okay. The upcoming couple were struggling to get to sleep at night, and this wasn't a new occurrence for them. Over the last few weeks, they had felt something off about their room and couldn't quite pinpoint what was causing it. The video you're about to witness was the night that they truly discovered what was wrong, and this definitely wasn't a good thing.
So guys, it is 2:30 in the morning. I'm trying to sleep. Just last night, the night before, there was some paranormal activities going on. And also this night, I also cannot sleep. My wife is here sleeping next to me. And fucking, I don't, like, hold on. You hear that?
Yeah. What the hell is that?
I don't fucking know, baby.
What the fuck?
Hold on, everybody, look at this. Look at this. Shine over there, baby, shine.
What the fuck is that?
Shine, baby.
What the fuck
Let me see.
is that?
Oh, shit. Baby.
What
baby.
the fuck? What the
Oh shit! Oh shit, baby! Baby, stop. Stop, baby, stop. Just hold on. Wait a minute. How the f did that just swing by? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Strangely, their fan glided across the room without anyone else in there, and the man's wife was lying right next to him, so it couldn't have been her. As well as this, a bunch of items fell from the shelf right next to them, which was enough to send both of them into a state of panic. Luckily, though, the man dug out some bravery. After some convincing, he managed to get his wife to get out of bed and investigate the house to see if they could get any more clues as to what was doing this to them. This was the worst decision they could have possibly made, and here's why.
And baby, you gotta... Hold on, baby.
Let's get out of here.
Baby, let's get up. Hold on. Let's get up. Let's see what the fuck's going on. Baby, I'm scared. Don't be scared. Just be with me, okay? Just come on, let's get up. Get up to bed. Slowly. Okay, just slowly. Baby, don't be scared. Alright?
Okay.
Hold on, just one at a time. One at a time. Wait. Baby, come on. Come on. Okay. Get up with me. Get up with me. Just get up with me, baby. Get up with me. Please. Hold up, wait up. Oh, shine. Okay. Hold on. No, stay with me. Stay with me. Hold on. Hold on, baby.
Can you get me out of here?
Wait, hold on, baby. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. This whole book just fell. This whole book. Hold on. Baby, I don't know what the fuck is that.
Baby.
Hold on. Hold on, baby. It's on. Hold on. Shine over there. Make sure there is nothing. Hold on, baby. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Shine. Hold on. Get away from me, baby. Get away from me. Here, hold on. Come, stay by me. Okay, stay by me. I don't even dare to go over there, baby.
Baby, I'm so scared.
Baby, hold on. Let's just walk over there. Come on, let's go. Hold on. Oh shit, baby.
What the fuck, baby?
Oh shit, baby. Hold on, baby. Hold on.
Baby, get me out of here.
Hold on, baby. Hold on. Wait a minute, baby. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. It's a kid.
Baby, I don't want to stay here tonight.
I don't either, baby. Hold on. Just bear with me, okay, baby?
After doing the right thing and checking on their kids, they went into the kitchen to see what was going on in there. In this room, a ton of things started moving by themselves, and the door to the laundry room opened, as if trying to lure them into it. Stupidly, the man gave in to the temptation and beckoned his wife to come in with him, but to his fortune, she steered him away. After this, they awoke their kids and told them they were sleeping at their grandma's tonight, and off the family went. The house got sold, and they moved very quickly. They are now living safely in a cottage and haven't experienced anything alike since. In the following video, a very enthusiastic and positive girl was getting ready to watch a movie with some orange juice and popcorn when a creepy disturbance stopped her in her path. She was singing and running around the house happy as ever, but clearly the spirit she was about to encounter didn't appreciate her joy and took it upon itself to end it there and then.
Watch a movie. Gonna get some juice first. Gonna get some juice for my movie. Gonna get some juice. Orange juice. Give me this orange juice. Gonna get some popcorn. Okay. Oh. Hello? Alrighty then. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Oh no, 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 orange juice, no, 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 no. Open, 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 open.
In this 1 minute long clip, many things take it upon themselves to move, and the girl singing was very obviously scared by this. However, due to her positivity, she was able to still run to her room and enjoy the movie that night. Since the ghost wasn't able to crack the girl this night though, it decided to take the challenge, and it wouldn't be long before it showed itself again to try and truly frighten the girl. It was roughly 2 days after the orange juice incident, and the same girl decided to visit her best friend after finishing college and her part-time job that day. It had been a really stacked morning and afternoon, so it was only right that she treated herself to some fun at the end of it. However, she managed to get there before her friend even arrived home, and clearly the ghost thought this was a good opportunity to keep the house guest entertained.
So I decided to visit my best friend after work today, and I got here before they did, and there's literally, I walked in here and like something started knocking on the back door back there. You can hear it. Stop! Now, okay, so you might think it might be the neighbor or something, or like a dog or something at the door, but look. We're on the 2nd floor. And there's like literally nobody. There's like nobody here. And I'm by myself. I thought we were done with this crap. Okay.
Strangely, the knocks were very fast and unnatural, and after investigating the other side of the door, it's very unlikely that a human could have been doing the knocking, but it had to be something. The girl speculates that it was the second appearance of what she nicknamed the orange juice ghost, and for once she was actually in fear. After this event, she decided to stop feeding the ghost attention and called it quits on uploading her sightings to social media. It's unknown whether this worked or not, and it likely never will be. These two girls were at a sleepover together and wanted to record some TikToks to show their friends how much fun they were having. It was roughly 2:30 a.m. in the morning when they filmed this video, and everything was going well until this point. The video captured a very odd sighting, but it was so discreet that the girls didn't even notice it until running the video back. Once they realized they caught something so strange on camera, they showed their mother, who uploaded it to TikTok for us all to see. Have a look.
This is my daughter and her friend. Please watch closely between them. No one else was up in my home. Look between them right now.
As we can clearly see, a shadow figure glided in between the two girls, which was creepy to say the least. The odd thing is that since it was in the past, they couldn't do anything about it, and the entire family was left completely lost. Edward, a strong believer in the paranormal world, had been experiencing paranormal activities for the past few months. Eventually, he had enough of the repetitive disruptions and decided to keep track of them through using a YouTube channel. Here he would upload his documentations, whether that be first-hand phone footage or stuff from the security, and gather a binder of evidence for his local church, of which he wished to inform of the incidents. Here is one of the pieces of footage his cameras managed to capture.
Sunday the 19th of July.
Strangely, this ghost was extremely energetic and did things at an extraordinarily fast rate. It threw all sorts of items to the ground, including cutlery, which is dangerous considering Edward had a dog which would know no better than to stand on a fork or something silly like that. Edward brought this video to his local church in hopes that they would bless the household of any evil entities, and they happily did so. It is unknown whether or not this was a success or not. In the following video, an electric company came to visit a house that was being sold to new owners. They were paid to check up and fix any issues with the electricity, and their pay would fluctuate based on how many problems they actually ended up finding. During their stay, they discovered 4 electrical issues and got them fixed for the current owner. But there was one problem that could not be changed, no matter who was hired to make an impact. There was a paranormal entity present. For some strange reason, the ladder continued to move on its own accord and creeped away from the location that it was initially set in. This, for more than obvious reasons, freaked out the electrician in the room, who went on to show his clients the footage, and then the boss reported it to the owner. They negotiated a $50 pay rise for the inconvenience and finished the tasks on the day. The house was eventually sold to a new family, but little did they know what they were in store for. Children's toys are some of the most wholesome objects on the planet, designed to make little ones smile. They come in all sorts of forms, from dolls to cars, all the way to smaller instrument variations, so it's safe to say that there is a toy for every child imaginable. However, there is one instance that these toys become some of the most demented and uncomfortable things known to man, and the upcoming video is an example of this. Out of nowhere, once the man entered the room, the toy car jolted to the side, which made no sense considering it was not designed to move. Even if it was, he revealed that it had no batteries inside it, which also made the voice it made impossible. The toy was doing far too much that it shouldn't have been able to, so the father immediately pinned down the cause to being a paranormal entity. Was he correct? I guess we'll never know, but what we do know is that the toy truck is long gone. In a recent video on this channel, we explored the household of Letitia, a young French woman who had been experiencing a surge of paranormal activity out of nowhere. This paranormal activity led her to discover a key, which opened up the basement of which the previous owner stated they lost the keys for it. Regardless of whether they lied or genuinely thought that the keys were missing, Letitia ventured into the basement to see what was up with it, and it had a very odd feeling to it. It actually used to be an air raid shelter during the Second World War, and an unfortunate amount of people passed away in there. This perfectly explained the weird aura to it. After exploring, Letitia vowed to never enter the basement again and relocked it. She did keep the keys though, but there was one thing she didn't choose to keep, her vow.
C'est bon, je vais enlever l'échelle pour plus qu'il y ait des gens qui rentrent chez moi. Oh là là, ça fait trop peur. C'est par ici qu'ils doivent rentrer. J'ai des squatteurs chez moi, genre les squatteurs qui rentrent par ici. Ah, c'est bon. Donc maintenant les squatteurs ils vont plus jamais rentrer. J'espère que c'est fini cette histoire, genre. Donc je ferme et je récupère la clé. Je reviendrai plus jamais ici. Normalement il n'y aura plus de squatteurs. Parce que là, je crois que j'ai jamais vécu ça de ma vie. C'est bon. La maison date de 1970. Franchement, c'est grave. J'ai trop envie de rentrer chez moi. Je fais que des cauchemars depuis que je suis ici. Regardez la tête des tableaux. Regardez à quel point ça fait flipper. J'ai remarqué il n'y a pas longtemps qu'il y a une empreinte ici. Là, on la voit bien. On la voit bien, regardez. Regardez.
Just 3 days after making her vow to never visit the basement again, she was down there, and this time she gave a more thorough search. In case you didn't watch the last video with Letitia featured, the first time she tried to enter, some kind of force pushed the door shut against her, so she was confident that someone was down there. Despite this confidence though, this search did nothing, and she walked back inside, confused with her confusion only being amplified from that point. Weirdly, some music started to play from the radio, and this made zero sense, because Letitia lived home alone. Unless her house had been burgled, it must have been a ghost that activated it. No one was in there. She had clearly released the spirits from the basement into the houser, and this scenario wasn't the only time that this became evident. On September 10th, 24 hours after the music played, Letitia was fixing something when some clutter could be heard from the kitchen. You know she had to go and investigate it, so she did, but what she came across was far from anything she could have ever dreamt of.
Je vais m'enfermer dans ma chambre. Oh la vache. De toute façon, tout ça c'est fini. En septembre, je rentre enfin chez moi. Je vous jure. Il y a la spatule qui est tombée par terre, genre. On est où ?
Immediately after hearing the bang, she went into the kitchen and found that her spatula had somehow collapsed onto the floor. As well as this, many other objects chose to move in front of her very eyes, leaving her kitchen a mess. When an item fell from the cupboard, Letitia was sent running back to her bedroom in fear before locking the door closed. If the other events weren't enough to convince Letitia her house was haunted, this one definitely did, and she decided that it was time to take action on the spirits. She watched some YouTube tutorials on how to combat certain ghost types, and one came up for war ghosts, which she assumed these ones were. She listened to what it had to say.
Je suis retournée dans la maison hantée et on va essayer d'enlever les esprits qu'il y a dedans, donc j'ai pris de la sauge, du sel. J'ai entendu du bruit. On va faire brûler la sauge, les gars, on va faire brûler la sauge. C'est bon. Les gars. Mon cœur, il bat à 3000. Écoutez mon cœur. Les gars, vous entendez mon cœur?
A shadow figure could be seen if you paid close attention to the glimpse of light by the door. It appeared to peek around the doorway at Letitia before slowly easing away once she turned in its direction. Fortunately, she missed out. This was the last video on the topic uploaded by the woman, although she did make a vow to continue updating us. If we've learned one thing about her from this story though, she doesn't keep vows, and it doesn't usually leave her in a good place. Marcus was searching an old sports stadium when he heard some repetitive banging coming from the changing rooms. The stadium was supposed to have nobody else present since it was no longer being used, but Marcus and his group really started to question this fact when this happened to them.
Bueno, ya son como las 11 de la noche y la tercera vez que estoy escuchando este ruido de mierda. No sé qué está pasando, pero lo quiero grabar ahora para que después me crea la gente, porque esto nunca me pasó y nada, lo quería grabar, qué sé yo, estoy podrido, la concha de la lora. Digo, mi linterna, no sé para qué mierda la traje. Dios, puta que te parió. Puta que te parió. Concha de la lora. La concha de la lora. Pero como mierda puede ser que no haya nada hoy. Ya es la tercera vez. Tercera vez que entro y no hay nada. Dios, me quiero ir. Me quiero ir.
Randomly, they started to hear banging noises coming from the ground floor, and staying cautious, they ventured into the unknown. They came across a wooden door, and to their confusion, it was opening and closing itself repetitively. This was something that none of them could explain. Instinctively, they walked into the room to find out what on earth was going on, and found nothing. Surprisingly, the stadium had no background lore which could point into the direction of paranormal activity. Such an event was completely out of the blue and still goes unexplained to this day. The piece of footage you are about to see was captured using a vehicle's dash cam and was very fortunate to have been caught. The incident lasted a singular second, so it was the definition of blink, and you miss it. Luckily for us, cameras don't blink. It was 2 a.m. on a Tuesday night, and a man who had just finished work was driving home. His drive home was the most eventless time of the day, but he enjoyed it for that very reason. The lack of cars on the roads meant that he could drive a lot faster than usual and get away with it, the true dream of every driver. However, despite the smooth roads, there was something present that nobody on scene would have expected. Take a look.
She can go meet up with him and see if she can get him to confess. And it's a tough decision, I'm sure, but Amy ultimately agrees. She wears the wire, and she picks up Chuck, and she...
Early on in the clip, the faded figure of a human crossing the road could be seen, which was very clearly not a real person. If it was, then a car would have hit them. Which one didn't? This was very clearly a spirit having some late-night fun. Some of you are likely not convinced yet though, and I don't blame you. The amount of false sightings on this website are abundant, and you can't trust anything or anyone. Don't worry, this time we found some extra evidence.
So this is a follow-up video on my last TikTok, the one right before this, about the paranormal sighting that I seen. Just for people that are a little leery, thinking it was a person and not that it was some paranormal, some figure, some something. This just kind of adds into it that it probably is some type of paranormal thing. I had another driver reach out to me after I posted it on Facebook that he was going through there about 20 minutes before I did with another driver right behind him, and they seen the same thing as I did, but they just didn't catch it on camera. And today, at the same time as we went through there, there was a car accident, multiple cars. 2 people ended up dying. 2 people went to the hospital. Well, the 2 people that went to the hospital they gave a statement that they seen a white figure in the road, and that's why the one car swerved into the other car. And this was around the same exact time, but 1 day later than when I seen it and he seen it. And his brother's a state trooper and told him this. So I'm sure we'll be able to get these statements at some point in the future. But this just adds on to, this might be real. This might not be somebody just walking in the road, because they said they tried to pull the cameras from the interstate and there was nobody walking in the road at that time. So you guys go ahead and pause and read that. Tell me this shit don't make sense. Tell me this don't make sense. If anybody knows anything else about this, it was on Illinois Highway 57 going northbound right after the 340, right in Markham, Illinois. Right after the 340 is where this happened. 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. So y'all tell me if you know anything about any of this, or comment whatever you guys think about it, but it just keeps getting crazier and crazier.
The night after that incident, the faded spirit had another sighting, and this time around it caused an entire crash. I'm not going to reinstate what the man said since he already explained the situation, but what I will say is that you are crazy if that wasn't enough evidence for you to believe this scenario happened. Javier was a man born and raised in Mexico who was very patriotic about his country. He and his brother Antonio were both very similar to each other, sharing many beliefs and hobbies, and one thing they also shared was a haunting. Over the past year, they had both been occupying the same house, and both of them believed that something weird was going on. According to both brothers, things would reportedly move alone, and mysterious noises would echo around the house, nothing that any of them wanted. However, at the peak of these hauntings, something terrible happened. An amazing brotherly bond was broken when Antonio passed away. The doctors had no idea what ended his life, and the only intel was that he was found lying in the basement. They simply pinned it down to old age. Regardless of the reason, Javier now had to face their hardships by himself and just prayed that Antonio would be able to obtain a spiritual form and help him out. He had no idea what would happen, and all he could do was wait and find out for himself. During the hauntings whilst Antonio was still living, Javier didn't recall any physical apparitions, and the fact that he was starting to see them now was rather concerning. The first one seemed to be that of an animal, likely a cat, and it quickly darted across the corridor out of sight. The second one, though, was much more terrifying. It was the figure of a human, and it towered taller than the door frame. This one was in view for a bit longer than the cat, before fading into the shadows. None of these apparitions can be explained to this day. With the introduction of apparitions, Javier was very quick to sell the house. He moved in with his best friend, so he didn't have to sleep knowing that demons were staring at him. But a few days later, he wanted to observe the spirits one last time. He spent roughly $200 on cameras with decent quality and made sure that they covered every angle of the building. Here is some of the movement that they managed to detect.
Se puede ver claro como una figura desdibujada se presenta en la...
Strangely, a select few furniture items started to move as they wished, and it was safe to say that Javier did not regret leaving the facility. It is known that no one has yet purchased the house, and he will struggle very much to find a buyer, whilst it has the haunted label on it. If Javier conducts any more research, I'll be sure to include the clips on one of these videos, so subscribe to not miss it. Now, the following sentence that is about to leave my mouth has been said countless times on this channel, and I am certain it needs to be emphasized again. Dolls are by far the most disturbing and haunted objects on the entire planet. For some strange reason, though, parents continue to funnel all of their money into huge doll collections for their kids, and some of them actually end up paying the price. That was the case for the father in the piece of content you're about to see, Ronald, and it is likely that he will never purchase another doll for his children after such a horrible sequence of incidents.
Yeah, I swear that's moving.
From moving its body parts as if it was a human being all the way to making disturbing whimpers, whatever was controlling this doll was on a mission to freak out this innocent father. In response to all of this weirdness, he decided to quickly put the doll into a bag and drive it all the way to the tip for its burning. And fortunately, it did not find its way back, despite this being his fear. In the following video, two workers in a small store were discussing their recent problems. The main problem they had to cover was the fact that the store's revenue had dropped by $300 in a singular month, which was obviously a lot of money. In response to this, they came up with the conclusion to lower the prices around the store and were about to start brainstorming when something very out of the ordinary happened. Both workers explained that this event was so odd that they were terrified to tell people in fear that they would be deemed crazy. Regardless, they followed through and published this footage to the internet.
Hacemos este video porque estábamos yo y Anaís ahorita sentados platicando de la pesca. Cuando de repente el aparador de Tostitos se sacudió de una forma fuerte. Se habían caído las cosas, habíamos escuchado ruidos atrás, allá en el baño, pero nunca se había sacudido un aparador o algo así.
Ya van varios días que está pasando esto y, ay, la verdad, pues sí está de miedo. Pues como ven, se mira una tienda normal, pero no es una tienda normal. Oh my God, otra vez.
¿Grabaste eso?
Sí.
¿Estás grabando?
Sí, estoy grabando.
No te acerques mucho.
No sabemos qué es, pero...
No te acerques mucho. Vete para acá.
Oh my God!
Somehow, a bag of chips fell to the floor immediately after their conversation ended, and the female worker went to investigate. Understandably, she just assumed that something must have shook to cause them to collapse, but moments later, things became unexplainable. The bag moved itself whilst on the floor. To this day, none of the workers can explain what happened that day, and they both claim that they didn't feel any kind of presence in the room. Does this event truly have any scientific explanation, or was it what we all believe it to be? A ghost? Let me know what you think in the comments. On February the 22nd of 2012, Dwayne decided that he was going to confront the spirit that had been terrorizing him and his family for 2 months straight. Slowly, over time, strange things started to happen in their house, and it progressively got more and more serious, with the most recent incident being a knife getting launched across the kitchen. This knife almost hit Dwayne's daughter, so he decided he was finally going to attempt communication. He could not be bothered forking out money for a Ouija board though, so attempted a different method. Take a look.
Are you evil? Is that a yes or a no? If you're evil, flick the light again. Okay. Whoa.
Surprisingly enough, the spirit actually complied with Dwayne and chose to answer his question to a somewhat honest degree. Instead of lying to him and playing as a casual spirit, it made its intentions clear, and this was odd, to say the least. With this newfound information, Dwayne knew that this was not something suitable for a family household, and drove off to the local church to seek assistance. It was while he was there that the cameras in that same room caught an eventful piece of footage. He was very fortunate that his wife was home to hear all of this commotion, because she was smart enough to quickly spectate the room from the cameras whilst recording it. This footage was not revolutionary, since whatever was in their house moved stuff all the time, but it was nice to have finally documented it and helped a lot in the family's progress of blessing the house, which for your information they have completed. Now this next clip is quite a short one compared to the other ones on the channel, but believe me, there is a lot to talk about from it. It happened extremely late at night at around 2 in the morning, and traumatized the victim for life. The event happened 7 years ago, and Alex, the human on the receiving end of the haunting, still keeps his bedroom door open at all times to date, wondering why he has taken things this far. Well, have a watch for yourself.
What the Well, maybe you probably don't know, but the reason why the door stays open is because of the carpet. And lately I've been sleeping with this closet door right here open because I don't want... What the... What the...
Now, if you had your device at low brightness there, then you probably struggled to notice what actually went on. Alex heard a noise from his bedroom door, so he decided to get up and open it to see what had caused it. To his dismay, though, nothing was there, at least at first. Moments later, an unsettling figure with no face at all peeked around the door into Alex's room, and understandably, he feared for his life and ran back. On June the 12th of 2023, Sunny was in her house minding her own business when an unexplainable sequence of events decided to strike her. These events were so disturbing and extraordinary that Sunny had no idea how to explain them, and you likely won't either. Have a watch.
Please go away. Please go away. You're not wanted. Go away. Whatever you are, go away. Oh my God. I am so scared right now. Please go away. It can't be spooky. Spooky? Psst, 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 psst. Spook? Moo?
For some reason, some peculiar noises could be heard from the other side of the door, and of course Sunny decided to start recording. As she did this, the shadows in the room started to move in an odd pattern, and the door continued to open and close itself. Something was wrong. Thinking logically, she called for her cats in case they were causing all of this, but none of them came to her. Not to mention that when she looked to her left, the cats were sitting right there. Whatever this was, it was likely a spirit, and Sunny fears that room to this day, keeping it forever blocked. Dreams, one of the most interesting things on the entire planet. Not even the most knowledgeable of scientists can explain the purpose of dreaming, and all humans can do is theorize what they truly are. Regardless of those answers though, they are besides the point. Dreams come in many forms, from nightmares all the way to lucid. And in the following video, the dream described by Lexi was definitely a mix from both of those things.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm very fucking shook. I'm about to go to my mom's. I had the fucking creepiest thing just happen to me. So I've never had a dream like this before. And then what happened after is just fucking, I'm about to fucking puke. Like, I actually was like hyperventilating. I had to fucking run out of my apartment because I'm fucking scared. I could tell I was lucid because I can control what was happening and everything was fine. I was like laughing. I guess I was like on Love Island or something. I don't know. We were all laughing, right? So like me and like all the Love Island cast or whatever the fuck. It was just a bunch of random people, right? And we were supposed to be on Love Island. I already said that, but I'm sorry, I'm flustered. So anyways, we were laughing, ha ha ha, everything's fine. I got good vibes, and all of a sudden, they all look at me and they're just lifeless. Like they're like, there's like at least like 30 people in the room, okay? And they all look at me and they're like this. And I got the most sick feeling. And all of a sudden, for some reason, I was wearing this cross in my dream. And that has never happened before. And all of a sudden, I could, like, in my dream, I go like this. And I start to grip my cross. And I'm just like, and then the person that I was talking to, he goes, "Why are you doing that?" And he was just like, "Why are you scared?" And then this is where I knew it was demonic. Because just basically saying that God doesn't exist. He was like, "What do you think he's gonna do for you? Like, you think God even exists? You think he's gonna," and just, I hate saying that, but he was just starting, I was like, this is evil. And so I grabbed my cross and I backed up and I was like, this is evil. Like, this is fucking evil. And I knew it was the devil because in the beginning, it gave me everything that I wanted. Like, okay, so I was on Love Island, right? But it gave me like fame, money, and like just every single temptation that you can think of. And I was like, oh my God, like it gave the devil, whatever was haunting me in that dream, it gave me everything that I wanted. And then it was gonna tell me at the end that God didn't exist. And I've never like been able to grip this cross in my dream. And I just backed up. And then I started praying to God. And then I felt myself being lifted up. Like lifted. And everything just disappeared. And I just felt myself, like my whole dream just disappearing and me being lifted up. So anyways, I was like, oh my God, like I've never had such a spiritual dream like that. And I was like, that was a test. That was a demon. Because nothing has ever tried to denounce the name of the Lord in any type of dream. So anyways, I went in the kitchen because I was so fucking terrified. And I just said, I rebuke anything in the name of Jesus that is not meant to be in this house. I rebuke anything. And I was like, I was strong and firm. And I got chills all over my body. Right after I said that, I heard 3 knocks on my front door, and I looked outside. Nobody was fucking there. And it was late, okay? It was fucking late. And so after that, I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, whatever I casted out of my house was like, it got casted out. And like, it was like trying to come in my house, but it got casted out.
Demons entering the minds of humans is not a new thing, and reports of this happening have been filed loads. However, the manner in which this one denied God to Lexi's face left her traumatized and completely convinced that this was a test from Satan. Her story ended after she escaped the house, but this wasn't all we would hear from Lexi. In fact, we were only just getting started because just one day later, after re-entering her home, she captured something wild on camera.
Got the cutest little samples yesterday.
She was 100% certain that she was the only person home at the time. This employee was doing her shift at her local convenience store and everything was running smoothly. She was in the process of restocking some out-of-stock shelves before the store opened to the public again, but little did she know that this would turn out to be a very difficult task. This chore was known by the employees as the easiest one around, and anybody given it was being let off the hook for the day. However, this time was much different, and the reason why was very peculiar. Take a look.
Vean, vean, vean. Vean. Ahí ya empezaron a abrir también. Vean, observen. Híjole. Vamos a tratar de no acercarnos, Jorgito, porque... Vean cómo se están abriendo las puertas. Vamos a ver de aquel lado. Ahí se ve cómo se están abriendo y cerrando. Toda la tarde ha estado pasando esto, e inclusive ya hay gente que se dio cuenta, clientes. Y híjole, la verdad sí es un poco temeroso. Ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que vean, ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que viniera a ver esto que está pasando. No me cree, pero digo, quedó de venir, hasta ahorita no ha venido. Y no nos hemos atrevido a ir a la parte de atrás en la cámara porque pues nos da un poco de temor, ¿no? Porque pues esto es algo sobre...
Somehow, the refrigerator doors took in turns opening and closing, which was an impossible event to happen without any human interaction. At least, that is what society deemed it to be, because it happened. Theorists suggest that a spirit was in the room doing this, and some more information given to us by the creator further backed up these claims. They explained that the room had a cold feeling to it immediately after the first door opened, and this is a common sign of a paranormal entity being present. Whatever they encountered that day was not nice, and they most certainly didn't want to see it in the store again. On a fateful winter night, two brave men ventured to their local graveyard to give their grandma's tombstone a visit. She had been gone for 3 years now, and this was what they called her death anniversary. In their family, they celebrated the lives of their passed away loved ones on the day they left, and it was a very wholesome and cool idea. Nothing had ever gone wrong while they hosted these days, and it seemed harmless, until their grandma came to give them a visit. At least they assumed it was her. I guess they'll never know for sure.
Entidad nos cierra esta puerta, miren lo que pasa.
Sí, se mira bien allá. Sí. Si estás aquí con nosotros, manifiéstate. Queremos verte. Queremos saber que estás aquí. Mira, guacho. ¿Lo viste?
Sí, se cerró. ¿Estás aquí con nosotros?
Uy. ¿Quién eres? Se cerró la puerta, güey. Se acaba de cerrar la puerta, neta. Se miró bien clarito que se cerró. Mira. ¿Hay alguien aquí adentro?
¿Quieres jugar con nosotros?
Niño, ¿dónde estás?
¿Quieres jugar con nosotros?
Mira, güey. Mira.
Está moviendo más.
Güey, ¿qué se está moviendo, güey? No manches, güey, se está moviendo. Mira, pues no hay nada, güey. Mira, ay. Niño, ¿en qué parte te encuentras?
The fence surrounding their grandma's grave opened by itself, and then immediately closed, which freaked the duo out to an insane extent. At first they were ready to turn around and make a run for it, but they decided to stay, in case it truly was the spirit of their gran. For a few moments afterwards, peace was present, and nothing really happened, but it didn't take long for strange noises to start playing around the yard. This phenomenon still cannot be explained to this day, and the duo are sure of themselves that they encountered their grandma. Again though, they'll never know. Roughly 3 years ago today, a young man who worked at the hospital captured a piece of footage that sent the hospital staff crazy. Alongside social media, the clip was so unexplainable that nobody knew what the next step should be, despite trying very hard to come up with a logical solution for it. It took place in Manzanillo Hospital, and the man who filmed the event was so frightened from it that he was dismissed as a doctor in that specific clinic and worked in a room on the first floor. Have a watch. Now, at first glance, it was very hard to determine what actually happened here, but after digging deeper, I found out for you guys, which is why you should subscribe. 14 seconds into the clip, the head of a human being, except faint and dull, peeped around at the doctor, and he was left standing in disbelief. At first, the hospital launched a full search for an intruder, but no one was found on site, and the mystery is still empty to this day. Trains are usually really safe methods of transport, with safety precautions implemented all across them. There is one huge problem with this transport method though, and it's that when the night falls, they change completely. What usually turns out to be a relaxed and speedy train journey morphs into a spooky and isolated night, where creeps and criminals run galore in the carriages. The upcoming clip was recorded at 11:30 p.m. during the dark hours of public transport, and let's just say that it lived up to the fear I've just described it to induce. Randomly, the sound of a girl screaming could be heard from inside the man's carriage, and of course, he was super confused. He looked left and right to try and spot whoever it was, in case he could provide help, but no one else was inside it. An important note is that that specific train hosted one carriage as well, so the noise mustn't have been from on board. When the man arrived home, he scanned the news to research if anything happened on the route he was traveling that night, and no articles were discovered. Could this have truly been a spirit? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. On October the 13th of 2023, Miguel was having the best day of his life. He had received so many good deeds on that day that he said he couldn't compare it to another day in his life, and it was by far his favorite, until a spirit came and ruined it all. Life was literally going perfect, and seemingly nothing was against him on this specific October 13th, but all of this was moments away from no longer being the reality. The start of this clip can easily be blamed on the wind, but trust me, it gets much more real as time goes on.
Son casi las 3 de la mañana. Escuché a alguien, pero literalmente llamándome. Acá. Ahí está. No sé si se escuchará. Literalmente creo que me llamaron por mi nombre. Yo estaba medio dormido. No les voy a mentir. Me da miedo. Voy a tratar de captar. Es como mi método de defensa, ¿viste? Quiero ver si... Quiero ver si se ve algo, ¿no? Ay, mira. Esto que está acá me pasa siempre. Eso lo... No sé si llega. Andate, hijo de puta. Sos hijo de puta.
Despite the moving objects, Miguel wasn't completely convinced that something out of the ordinary was happening since there was a slight breeze in the air. However, seconds after making the decision in his head to go back inside, a tall, unnatural shadow figure stood right in front of him, and it was very intimidating. Using survival instincts, Miguel launched a pot at the figure, but it didn't move an inch. In fact, it went through and hit the shed door behind. It vanished shortly after, but Miguel couldn't unsee it and still can't to this day. These two Japanese men were approached by a real estate agent, offering them the deal of their lifetime. They put a pretty big house on the table for a fee way below average, and knowledgeably, the duo knew that something was fishy due to the deal being so unrealistic. They actually owned a YouTube channel titled Japanese Horror Entertainment and made a lot of their money exploring haunted locations, so they immediately thought of ghosts when questioning why the house was valued at such a low cost. They were right, and they were about to prove it through an investigation. It was roughly 3:30 in the morning when the upcoming clip was captured, and it was posted to their YouTube channel, which I mentioned earlier, Japanese Horror Entertainment. If you want to watch the full 20-minute experience, it's available on YouTube at OMG Film, and we're only covering a very small segment. At the door, an unsettling face could be seen squashing itself against the glass. Initially, the man stood there in silence and made sure to get a good shot of the face, but eventually he decided to walk towards it. Once he got close though, it vanished out of thin air. On December 26th of 2023, Isaiah, a middle-aged man, was left home alone for the night. His girlfriend, called Caroline, was out with some of her friends all evening and left Isaiah in charge of the house, which she admitted wasn't the smartest decision of her life. Her boyfriend was about as responsible as a toddler, and all she could do was pray that he wouldn't do anything stupid. Little did she know, though, that he would turn out to be the last of her worries, because just a few hours after leaving the house, this happened to Isaiah. For some strange reason, the door closed behind him once he entered the guest bedroom, followed by a banging sound from across the corridor. Out of pure fear, Isaiah ran back into his bedroom and locked the door behind him to prevent any unwanted entities from following him. Nothing else occurred that night, and he was too afraid to let his girlfriend know in case she blamed it on him and overreacted. The following video took place in a Russian household and featured a family taking some time to simply relax in their living room. They were watching some television together and discussing what board game they were going to play afterwards, with the group consensus leading to charades. But little did they know that they wouldn't even get to that stage before some weird stuff started happening. Immediately after these events, the family concluded that it must have been their grandma who was rushed to hospital after having a heart attack in the same house they were in. Unfortunately, she did not survive, and her loved ones had only recently come to terms with that fact. At least they knew now that she was still with them spiritually. The next day, most of the family had departed back to their own homes after the huge get-together, leaving the 5 who lived there and the grandfather of the family. It was roughly 3 p.m. when the boys were dismissed from the living room by their parents after keeping their grandfather company for a few hours. In their room, they sat down slandering their parents for not letting them do what they wanted earlier, and their grandmother clearly wasn't a fan of their words because she struck again, and this time she was just as prominent.
Бля, короче, ребята нахуй, вызвали, блядь, демона, кот нахуй под столом, блядь, творится полная херня. Ёпта, бля.
Вот, блядь, дверь, сука, открылась только что нахуй.
Бля!
Ёбаный в рот. Ебать, сука.
Нахуй, Герман, блядь, что происходит вообще?
Пиздец, я чё, ебу, что ли? Нахуй, сука.
Ёбаный,
бля. Пиздец, нахуй, сука.
Бля, Герман, нахуй. Бля. Короче, ребята, все, прощаемся, бля, творится полный пиздейшн, нахуй, бежим.
Somehow, several objects started to fall from countless shelves, and the 2 boys were in pure disbelief as to what to do. They sat there shouting curse words and calling the creature who caused this a demon, completely unaware of the likelihood that it was their grandmother, which the rest of the family pointed out earlier. After this bizarre incident, the boys sprinted downstairs and informed their father of what happened, and he believed them instantly considering what unfolded the day before. The mother offered the grandfather a lift home as he was terrified after hearing that things were continuing, and he accepted the offer. They both left the house, leaving the 2 boys and the father. He told them both to go to the guest room and avoid theirs whilst he cooked some dinner, so his wife had it ready when she arrived home. Even this didn't sneak by without a paranormal event, though.
Сейчас пытаюсь понять, что происходит, но какие-то аномальные явления непонятные, что у меня со стола падает всякая хрень, и вот сейчас на кухне пытаюсь поставить телефон. Оба-на! Заебись! Удачный момент.
Out of nowhere, the glass on the tabletop fell to the floor without shattering or even being damaged one bit. This was very odd, because the odds of a glass surviving a drop that high are very slim, so perhaps the ghost perfectly cushioned its fall. We'll never know. All we do know is that this has been the last publicly shared ghost encounter from the family for 6 months now, and we have no idea if they'll post another. You bet that if they do, though, I will be the first person to let you all know, so make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. This French woman was filming a TikTok using some form of medical injection. It is unknown why she was filming this video, but the likelihood is that she was educating people who might share the illness she obtained, which was very nice of her. However, during this video, one very strange thing happens, which is actually very difficult to detect. In fact, it was so hard to uncover that I had to refer to the comments to find out what was wrong, but fortunately for you, I'll explain after you watch it for yourself. At first glance, the only disturbing thing about this clip seems to be her reaction to the banging as if some spirit had caused it. It was likely due to construction happening on her road or something. However, when you zoom in at the timestamp of 37 seconds, a hand could be seen poking out of the door and quickly taking cover again. The hand was slim and very skinny, in fact so skinny that you wouldn't be able to tell it was owned by a human being. Not that it was anyway. This was the arm of a spirit, and if this wasn't enough evidence for you, no need to worry. She posted 3 more clips to her account over the following week, with the first one being a day after. Since the woman didn't initially notice what had happened, her audience were fast to flood her comments warning her of their sighting, and she was spooked after investigating the clip. Putting her brave boots on though, she revisited the room that she filmed the video in immediately after being made aware of the incident and set up her camera from a different angle. This is what happened.
Il est 3h du matin et j'arrive pas à dormir parce que j'entends tellement de bruit dans la maison que j'ai l'impression qu'elle est en travaux. Ce qui m'a empêché de dormir, c'est une porte qui claque. Il n'y a pas de vent. J'ai trouvé cette photo qui est une carte postale qui date de 1922. Truc de fou. Mais du coup, il y a plein d'objets anciens dans la maison que je retrouve au fil du temps. Et j'ai l'impression que la maison, elle a une histoire de fou malade. Genre, clairement, c'est un truc de ouf. Genre, regardez. Il y a encore des bruits, les gars, c'est dingue.
To start things off, the painting was slightly slanted, which made 0 sense considering it was never positioned like that and never tilted the way it did. Regardless, the woman pinned her logical excuse as the pin coming a bit loose, so she went to fix it, but a strange item fell from the back, which is soon to be uncovered. This item was so weird that it even took the woman time to decipher its purpose, and I'm sure it will do the same to you. Anyways, after fixing the portrait, she looked back at the door that contained the hand all those days ago and looked visibly shocked. Perhaps she saw the hand again? We never got told, but what we did get informed on was what the item behind the painting in fact was. It was a key. For the next few days, she tried to find out which door the key fitted, and eventually came to the conclusion that it was for the attic, which she had never entered due to the landlord saying the key was lost. This was very mysterious, and she went to unlock the door, but unfortunately, it did not work. This left only one possible outcome: the basement.
Non, c'est pas ici. Le pire dans tout ça, c'est que je suis ici jusqu'en C. J'ai entendu un bruit. J'ai entendu un bruit, c'est une blague. Il a porté les ouf. Non, c'est une blague. C'est quoi ce bordel? Les gars, vous avez entendu? Eh, je regarde même pas. Ma porte, elle était ouverte. En plus, on voit rien. Je vous jure, j'ai des frissons. J'espère que c'est pas là-bas, j'espère que c'est pas là-bas. J'espère que c'est pas là-bas, j'espère que c'est pas là-bas. La clé, elle sent le fer, mais vraiment, elle est toute vieille. Même mes mains, maintenant, ça sent. Ah, il y a des moustiques en plus. C'est rentré, les gars. C'est quoi ce truc? Oh! C'est quoi ce bordel? Non, 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 non. Non. Non.
Same as the attic, the woman was never given access to the basement due to the previous owners losing the key. She knew that this was its purpose. She could feel it. At around 11 p.m., she creeped down the basement stairs, feeling a hint of fear, but letting her curiosity get the better of her. The door unlocked, but she never got to see what was behind it. At least that was the case on this day. For the next couple of days, she was too frightened to visit the basement again, in fear that the door would slam on her again. She contacted her best friend for advice, and she suggested that the thing slamming the door could have been an intruder, so this left her with no choice whatsoever. She put a gun in her pocket and ventured back.
On m'a toujours dit d'être rationnel, on m'a toujours dit c'est du vent, c'est du vent, c'est du vent. C'est pas possible. Allez, ça y est. Ouh, je vais y tomber. C'était du vent. Ok. C'était juste du vent. C'est quoi ce bruit? Il y a des moustiques en plus. C'est quoi cet endroit? Il y a des trucs en plus. Il y a quelqu'un? C'est quoi cet endroit? Mais attendez, j'ai jamais vu ça. Pourquoi il y a une échelle ici? Il y a encore un truc. Mais c'est un truc de malade. Oh, les gars, attendez. Il y a une pierre dehors comme ça. Ça mène à la rue. Les gars, ça mène à la rue. Il y a des gens dehors qui rentrent ici. Non, c'est une blague. En plus, regardez, il y a un truc qui a pété là-bas et tout. C'est sûr, c'est utilisé. Attendez, mais il y a des gens qui rentrent. En plus, il y a un drap en plein milieu. Ça sert à rien, ce truc. Attends. Non, 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 ça y est, ça y est. Non, non.
This time, she managed to successfully enter the basement, but it looked more like a cave than anything. She remembered her landlord explaining that there used to be a bomb shelter under the house, but everybody passed away inside it one day. Perhaps this is why the basement had such a weird feeling to it. It was the bomb shelter. The woman locked the door back up and vowed to never enter it again and disturb the entities inside. Whether she stuck to that promise, we don't know, but if she didn't, I highly doubt that the spirits gave her a break. Ashraf, a young ghost hunter new to the business, had been hired out by a company who were planning on renovating an old and abandoned hospital. The CEO of the company had their suspicions that the building had some sort of haunted entity inside it, but wasn't quite sure what. This is why they contacted Ashraf's business to do the trick, and they chose him for his first rodeo. It went well. I'll let you decide for yourself.
Nos íbamos a ir
Y se escuchó feo. ¿Se escucha? Es un bebé, güey. ¿Hay alguien?
Strangely, the sound of a baby crying could be heard, and this was very unsettling for Ash. He expected to be recording moving objects and things of the sort, but hearing a child cry, his eyes out definitely didn't float his boat. He reported back to his boss, showing the footage of the sound, and he got scolded for not going further into the facility for some more. He received a pay cut, but did not get fired. He is now contemplating seeking work elsewhere though. He still wants to give the ghost gig a few extra tries first. The following video took place in a Dutch apartment which hosted a university student. The student was renting the apartment so she had somewhere to stay that was local to her studies. However, she had no idea what would come from calling this place home. On her second night, she was relaxing in the living room, watching television, when one of the creepiest events of her life happened.
What the fuck is that?
Strangely, despite scanning the room for someone, she failed to find a culprit and ran out in fear. But this wasn't the scariest part. As she stared at the doorway anticipating some more supernatural stuff to happen, a dark figure peeked round the door and she ran without any hesitation. Now it's impossible to understand what the motive of this spirit was, but if it was to scare the girl, it definitely succeeded. She left the property 2 weeks later and went to live in a university dorm room instead. It was 2 p.m. in the afternoon in the Adams household, and the entire family was out as the parents were granted a day off work. They were planning to visit the park together for a few hours to gain some bonding time, but little did they know they didn't bring everyone with them, despite the whole family being in the car. Confused? I'll let the security footage do the explaining. Weirdly, the metal chair fell to the floor and started dragging itself along by itself. This was very odd, since no one was present in the building, and no natural force could possibly make something like this happen, especially since the windows were definitely closed. After receiving a notification that something was in their house, the father quickly checked his phone and was left stumped. They never witnessed anything close to this ever again. After sneaking onto an inactive plane at night, young adult Tyler expected to get into a lot of trouble in the case that he got caught. He was prepared to pay fines and be on his way, but he had no idea of the true magnitude of danger he was putting himself in, and it wasn't because of the plane. You see, it was inactive for a reason, but not a reason you'd ever expect.
go. Let's go. Let's go. We did this shit. Now, I know I'm not dumb enough to lift those shades up because I got my flash on in here. They gonna catch my ass if they see. I ain't gonna lie to y'all though, it's mad cold in here. And it's dark. I mean, I know it doesn't look that dark on the camera, but it's dark. Let's go! Let's go! Right, sitting on the back of the plane. And y'all probably think I'm fucking insane. Probably think I'm doing this shit for fame.
As Tyler got more and more confident that he managed to board the plane without being detected, one of the seatbelts jumped to the side while he wasn't even close to it. Like any regular human, he quickly turned the corner to see if anyone else had boarded the air vehicle, but to his dismay, he found nobody. It's still unknown what caused the seatbelt to move, but even the most unbelieving people are convinced that this was the act of a ghost. I'm keen to hear what you guys think in the comments. On an unidentifiable evening, a security guard at his local store was working his night shift. Now, usually this was his favorite shift, because no one bothered him, and most of the time, it didn't involve any action. However, all of this was about to change for the worst when he witnessed the craziest thing on the cameras. Take a look.
He's putting things away from the box. All right, now watch. I want you guys to focus on this area right here, okay? Hold on, let me speed this up a bit. All right, watch.
You have the doctrine right, and you stow it on a shelf in your closet, and do not pull that doctrine
Look,
out.
boom, you see that? I'll get back here for you guys to give you a better view. Look at that. And I'm just like tripping, like what just happened? At first I didn't know what the hell it was, but went to see that there's a box on the ground. I'm like, okay, it's weird. And now I'm going to look, to see what's going on. It fell, okay, but pay attention to this area right here. Watch.
As he is showing the camera and what it captured, a banging noise could be heard behind him, and he started to become convinced that someone was in the building, despite the cameras not detecting a human yet. Curiously, he decided to wander around the store, and this time he experienced something outside of the screen.
Is that you? Look, I'm here by myself. Nobody's here. It's just me. See that? Come out. I'm not afraid of you. Is that you? That threw down the box earlier? Come on out. You don't scare me. Come on out, pussy. Always trying to mess with me. No. Hell no. Hell. Let me see. Hold on. Where am I? I'm here. Where am I going? Look, there I am, right there. Look, you see that? You see that? Nah. 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 Hell no.
At first, this clip is very hard to understand, but once you zoom in, you can see that the guard's hair was tucked. This was very odd, considering that the hair clearly didn't latch onto anything, meaning that a spirit must have decided to do this. Regardless of the cause, the security guard was completely rattled and vowed to never do a shift by himself again. Attics are notorious for being some of the most haunted rooms in houses, and there are countless clips backing up this claim. The upcoming video is one of these clips, and it gets very creepy, very fast. It was taken on September 17th of 2018 and features a father of two called Michael. He heard some suspicious noises coming from the attic and decided to investigate. This is what he discovered. Immediately after entering the attic, the noises started to intensify and items began moving on their own accord. Now that Michael had seen this firsthand, he was convinced it was a haunting rather than a squatter and barricaded the attic shut. Despite closing it though, the noises continued and he was forced to move out just a month later. The house is still listed as haunted to this day. On an October night nearing Halloween, this American family was planning what decorations and costumes they would use for a party they were going to host. They all came up with some great ideas, with some being themed around the supernatural. Little did they know that all of this was about to become real.
I heard the bell.
Did you move the bell at all over? Huh? Did you move the bell?
No. I heard the bells ring.
At around 9 p.m., they heard the bells outside their door ringing and assumed that someone was at their door like usual. The mother ran a small business and a lot of deliveries came to the house because of it, so this was a regular occurrence for the family. However, after reviewing the doorbell footage, it was far from normal. No one was there. The only possible explanation to this would be the wind, but that day had no wind throughout the evening. It's difficult to excuse this event as something from the normal world. The only safe option would be to blame a spirit. In the following video, a teenage boy named Braden was awake late at night whilst his parents were still fast asleep. He was scrolling through TikTok when he started to hear some pretty loud noises, but the way he reacted to these noises was beyond shocking. You could call it brave, or you could call it foolish, but that's for you to decide. Have a watch.
Wow, it's really bad right now. Okay, hold on. Jesus. Okay, hold up. Why is the tree on there? Whatever that is coming from up here. Should I attempt to go in there? Fuck. Because that was coming, all that thumping, it was coming from like right in there, in that room.
Come back here for a sec, man.
What the fuck, bro? What the fuck was that? You guys, did I just hear that right?
Get up here now.
Okay. That I'm not fucking with. That I'm not fucking with. That I'm not fucking with, bro. That I'm not fucking with, bro. That I don't play around with. That I don't play around with.
As strange as it may have been, Braden heard his own voice aggressively telling him to come upstairs, to which he instinctively entered flight mode and ran for his life. The thing that made this very weird for Braden is that his parents didn't actually wake up to the loud beckon, leading him to believe that he and the camera were the only things experiencing the noise. It's common for mimics to imitate loved ones to tempt people into sinning, but this situation was very unique. The mimic mocked its own prey with seemingly no intentions, so it's safe to assume that it was a very dangerous spirit. Braden's parents still don't believe that anything happened that night, despite him being adamant, and he currently takes therapy sessions. They think he's crazy.